Good evening, everyone. So, as we already shared what all we are here for, so of course, finally the D-Day is here. And there has been the maximum noise, when I have to say the maximum noise which has been heard during this year is, and we have answered the queries again and again and again, is when vitamin C, D, and biotin is going to be back. Of course, as Amrita already shared, vitamin C is back in all new avatar and it is getting all the love and attention from the field. Here we are with another exciting new launch, Neutralite Vitamin D. And vitamin D hasn't come alone. It has come with a full army of, specialist ingredients along with it, special nutrients along with it. And which is, of course, one is boron, as you're seeing on the screen also. It is the now part of the product name itself, Neutralite Vitamin D plus boron. In fact, with this boron as an ingredient, as a nutrient, we'll talk more about it. It makes an entry to the nutrition portfolio itself. We completely agree. We know it is not a very known nutrient, but that's all the reason it makes it all the more important for us to know about it, why we have added to the product, because it is still essential for our health and bone health in particular. So, of course, we'll talk about the product, details, background, everything in detail in this session in the next upcoming 1 hour. And to start the session, allow me to share my screen. So my screen is there, Shirley?
Yes,
right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so Neutralite, vitamin D plus boron, this is what we are going to talk about. This is the session is going to be all about. And before we actually jump into the product, let's talk little more about the context. Why do we need it? What is the importance of it? What is vitamin D? What does it all does for our health? And then the kind of deficiency and more importantly, the hidden gaps which are existing in this particular segment and what the formulation is going to be all about. On with the first section on importance of bone health. So, we all must have read, we all know, and in our probably class 5 or something, our textbook, we got some 206 bones, and that is what the human skeletal system is made up of. In fact, bones are the rigid organs that make up the skeletal system for vertebrates, in fact, for all the living organisms, of course, right? And they provide structure, support, and protection to the body. Bones are composed of what they are made of, actually. Of course, calcium is the most popular one. We keep on hearing, and that there's enough importance and enough background context to it. Calcium is way too important for bones, of course, it is. But overall, bones are made up of course, more than 90%. It is calcium plus collagen and other minerals, of course. There's another very, very important part of our body, which is bone marrow, which is found inside the bones and which is responsible for producing blood cells. So the point is to overall how this overall structure of bone health, it contributes to our journey overall of bone health, and that to ensure that we are living our life to the fullest and to the happiest, it is important that we keep our bone health in check. Importance of bones, I think we all know. First of all, anything we do, first of all, your bone structure is important. It's our movement partner, though it is appearing on the extreme right side, bottom side of it, but it is our movement partner. When we say movement partner, everything we do, of course, we need not talk about, we talk, we walk, we dance, whatever we do, our bones work with muscles and joint to help us move. Even the minor discomfort in this, though of course fractures and this thing, that's a really sad story. But even the minor, any disruption to our bone health is like enough to bring a stop to our overall life and this thing. So that is the most important role of bone health. Then, of course, they are living tissues. So, of course, we don't realize that fact. And, we get to know only probably during the time of a broken bone, or if there's some kind of fracture or a hairline fracture, that our bone is broken. But do you know, just like cells, as we talk about protein, our cells and tissues, old cells are replaced by the new one throughout our life. And, of course, we are not knowing that journey. Same way, our bones are also living tissues. And throughout our life, throughout that journey in our body, that journey is happening, that old tissues are being replaced by new tissues, and there is a whole concept of bone desorption and bone formation. We'll talk about it in the next slide. But of course, bones are living tissues that are getting replaced. Old one is getting replaced, new one is taking place, so that we ensure that the strength, the maintenance, the integrity of bone is all maintained. In addition to movement, which is the most crucial and the most important role of bone health, it also protects our vital organs and is known to store important minerals. Calcium is, of course, the most common one, which we know. Other than that, phosphorus, that's another important mineral which is found in our bones. Of course, it gives shape and support to our body, so which is like a very, very crucial to all of us, that our bone health and overall structure, shape, it remains in place. Okay, so this is the concept we are talking about. There is a concept of bone modeling and remodeling. Okay, so bone modeling is what? It is a formation of new bone. So which happens only when we are young. So when your kid is growing, just like as a growth is happening, weight is, kids are putting on weight, kids are putting on height and everything. Same way, bones are also developing. So that's the journey of bone modeling, where the growth of that bone structure is happening. Okay. Now, once the bones have achieved their proper shape and structure and that growth is achieved, then we get into the concept of remodeling. Probably around teenage or as we get into an adult phase, the concept of remodeling starts. What is remodeling? Remodeling, what is happening, there is a concept of resorption and formation. Throughout our life, old damaged bone tissues, they are taken away and new bone tissues are formed and it takes its place. And why it is done? It is done to ensure that the strength of our bones, the maintenance of our bones remain in place. Right? To in a very, very easy and a common language, we can understand it is something like plus and minus. So resorption is something which is taken away, right? So something minus, something is removed from the body. Plus is something formation, something is added. So, that plus minus journey keeps on going for our bones also, where old tissues, old cells are removed, new take its place, and that's how the whole bone get replaced and becomes new one as a natural process. It is a natural process which is happening for all of us. Just to share a very interesting fact, on an average, 20% of our bone tissues, they get replaced on an annual basis. Of course, we don't realize, we don't talk about it enough. But yeah, that's the natural processes and, things which are happening in our body. Okay, but the journey of formation and resorption, plus and minus, it is not happening at the same pace. See, it's a very simple logic, right? If plus is minus is happening at the same pace, so net impact is same, right? That maintenance is there. That kind of, assurance is there. But the moment this balance of plus and minus, it is like kind of disbalance. And more importantly, if minus becomes more, then of course a point of concern, right? So that is again, which is happening for all of us. What is happening, if you're seeing my screen, on the horizontal axis, we are showing our age in years, right? And bone density, vertical axis is showing bone density, how it is getting impacted as we age. So of course, as we are young, as we spoke in the beginning, when we are teenage, reaching the age of adult, that is the time to achieve peak bone mass. Okay, that is the time where bone formation is happening. That is the time where bone formation ka pace is higher than bone resorption. Okay, net to say plus is higher than minus automatically. That's a natural process, and that's why we say the first 18 years, 19 years, they are important to achieve. That's an investment phase. In a layman time, we talk about like how much maximum investment we can make in ourselves. That is something to do with the first 20 years of our life, where we can achieve peak bone mass, where we can achieve maximum strength of our bones. Now, as we get into 20s, early 20s, around 25 and something, and particularly 30s, and that's why you must have seen a lot of complications, where suddenly, as you get into early 30s or late 20s, the bone health becomes really important. Okay, people start talking about it. Why? Because in the age group of 30 to 50 years, what is happening? Bone resorption and bone formation, it is happening at the same pace. So what all is taken out, same is getting replaced, plus minus is same. So net, probably strength, increased scope has gone. Now we cannot invest probably. I cannot build. I have something, I can protect that. I can maintain that. I can keep it stable. But I cannot probably further build on it because plus minus is happening at the same phase. At the space where the old bone is taken away, at the same pace, new bone is formed. So resorption, formation, pace is same. And that is where how we are at the stability phase or maintenance. After 45, 50 years of age, and these are our natural processes. Till now, we haven't come to our physical lifestyle factors and all that. This is a natural process till now what we are talking. As we get into 45 to 50 years of age, what happened? Bone resorption is higher than bone formation, which means the pace at which old bone is taken away, that is higher than the pace at which new bone is going to be formed. Eventually, what is mean? Minus is more, plus is less. And it's a natural process. No one can impact a change or something like that. That is happening for all of us. So net, that's how our bone density starts to decline. Okay, after 45, 50 years of age. And that is where, that probably, that's why we say throughout, probably first 15, 20 years of age are crucial, but still that also need to be supported with enough of good nutrition and physical activity for kids also. It is very, very important. It is not if a kid is not doing anything and it is harping on all the bad food of the world, not doing any physical activity, does not have a positive, overall, even stress. For kids also now, it's not an unknown term. So all the stress and everything is building up. So probably that process is going to be disrupted. But still, you are in the stage of peak bone mass. But as you come into maintenance and decline phase, that adequate nutrition, that adequate specialist nutrients, that become all the more important. And I will say especially as soon as we are into early 20s, because maintenance is everything, right? Once we are getting to declining, once we are already into loss phase, it is very, very difficult to come back. The sooner we take care of it, sooner we can be ensured that our health is maintained to the best of its quality, best of its life, including bone health, of course. So that's how the journey of bone, the life cycle, there's a life cycle for all of us. Similarly, there's a life cycle of bone. And this is how it looks like for all of us. Now, of course, as we said, what the red line is trying to show, but of course, if it is clubbed with the poor lifestyle choices, like nutrition is not good, we are harping on all the best fast foods in the, in our food choices. Probably alcohol is going to make the situation even more worse, and poor sleep cycle, and just keep sitting for long hours, not physical activity. This is going to accelerate the this process of damage or decline and all that thing, so which will make the condition even more worse. So of course, one, there is a natural process how the bone cycle is gonna be. One, supported with adequate positive lifestyle factors, and yes, of course, specialist nutrient which are there in the bone, which are responsible for structure of bones, strength of bones. Ensuring regular intake of that is very, very important. Okay, so yes, we already spoke about there is a natural life cycle of bones, and how the journey look like of resorption and formation across the life stages, and factors which can affect bone mass is, of course, the top one being vitamin D deficiency. And D, we all know, and it has become like the thing. We all know, we are going to be tested and we are going to be coming out deficient on this one. There's the really, I will say that very few of us who will be having a healthy vitamin D level. We all know in our heart, most of us are going to be reporting a deficiency, and why it is so, we're going to talk about it. But yes, this is the first foremost factor which affect our bone mass. And then, of course, even deficiency of things like calcium, protein, they also contribute. Because protein is the building block, right? We all know that. So that is the structure, that is the foundation. So, missing on these essential nutrients are also responsible for our poor bone mass. Then, coincided by tobacco, alcohol, low physical activity, they are the contributing factors which affect our bone mass. Aging is something, yeah, we cannot, of course, no one can change that, control that, but certainly we can manage these processes better through our proper lifestyle and proper nutrition. And yeah, there could be particularly some hormonal changes for women, and we're going to talk about it. Though, of course, nutrient is important for all of us, and vitamin, but there are certain nutrients like when we talk about calcium, vitamin D, iron, they become even more important for women. Why so? We'll cover in the subsequent slides. So that is, what we get to know, like how our bone structure, works, and what is the journey, how the overall lifestyle cycle of bone may look like, and which are the factors which might be contributing to the poor bone mass. Coming to, of course, we understood like one of the key factor, a key nutrient, and why it becomes even more important, because we are all running on its deficiency. We all know we are not getting enough vitamin D, probably through our lifestyle choices and through our food choices. But before we get into that, let's understand more about the role of vitamin D, what all magic this nutrient can do. So vitamin D, it's a fat-soluble vitamin, right? So if you know the concept, there is something called a water-soluble vitamins, like like your C, vitamin B, which are like water-soluble, and there are certain vitamins like vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin K, which are fat-soluble. And it also acts like a hormone in the body, right? So we all must have heard or known this fact, like it is a sunshine vitamin. Why I say so? Because as our skin comes in exposure to sunlight, that hormone thing get activated in our body, and our body start to synthesize and produce vitamin D3 in the body. So that's a natural process. But yes, it requires a proper sun exposure on an everyday basis. And with the proper, there's a concept of this much time, this much how your body must be exposed, and this how you'll be sitting and all that. It's not like probably I'm going in a cab for 1 hour journey and I will say, oh my God, I'm soaked in so much of sun. It doesn't, or in a glass buildings and all. No, it doesn't work like that. So yeah, it's a sunshine vitamin, and it acts like a hormone in the body because it gets activated as our skin gets exposed to the direct sunlight, sun rays. So it gets activated, and vitamin D3 starts to get produced in the body. Coming to that, there are two commonly known sources of vitamin D, vitamin D2 and vitamin D3. Though, mostly plant-based sources, vegetarian sources, they're going to be rich in vitamin D2, and the kind of vitamin D which is produced by our body when it is exposed to sun, or popular animal sources like egg yolks and particular kind of fishes and all that, they are known to be rich source of D3. So between D2 and D3, mostly D2 is coming from plant-based sources, while D3 is animal sources and produced by the skin after sun, through the sun exposure process. Okay, importance of vitamin D. So one important role we all know, we have always heard, we have known from, I'll say years now, it enhances calcium absorption. I might be ensuring enough amount of calcium in my diet, but if it is not supported by vitamin D, it is of no use. Because to ensure that calcium is absorbed in the body, we need vitamin D. Okay, so which means when you need it for calcium absorption, it ensures strong bones and teeth. So conventionally, of course, calcium is the most important because 90%, more than 90% calcium is stored in our bones, stored in our teeth. But to ensure that strength is achieved, we need to ensure calcium is absorbed well. And who will ensure that calcium absorption? Vitamin D. Okay, so that is the most crucial and the most known source of role of vitamin D. Another key role, which is trending quite a bit, though it picked from the Western countries, but even in India, it is not now an unheard concept. The concept of poor mood, low on focus, bad cognition health, depression. So these are now not unheard concepts and this thing. Though, of course, it all started from Western countries because those people, they hardly see sunlight, right? So there is no concept and this thing that probably naturally they can't do much about it when 10 months, they are like proper winters and, there's hardly sun seen in some areas. But now in India also, due to busy lifestyles and given other priorities, and though we are sitting in a tropical country, and but still not getting enough sunlight and this thing, it is impacting. And that's why you must have heard, especially from the elders, go out, be in the sunlight, it changes the mood altogether. There's a concept of circadian rhythm, right? It brings your sun exposure for particular few minutes, but in the morning it brings your circadian rhythm to the tune and all that thing. So that is a very, very important role, and all of us is realizing that thing. So when we say poor mood, bad mood, mental fatigue, bad cognition health, just check for vitamin D level also. It's one of the most common factor for all these symptoms. And yes, of course, it supports immunity also. Though, of course, again, conventionally, vitamin C is a superhero when it comes to immunity in terms of energizing white blood cells and fighting off the infections and everything. But vitamin D, being a fat-soluble vitamin, also plays a crucial role in terms of overall our immune health. Okay, coming to role of vitamin D, we understood the overall concept, importance of vitamin D, but particularly in bone health, as we say, it's an essential micronutrient. It is necessary. It is responsible for calcium absorption from the gut, right? So I might be consuming enough calcium. Okay, I got these many let's say glasses of milk or these many good dairy products or leafy vegetables and all that. So my calcium intake is sorted. But yes, of course, to ensure that calcium absorption is happening properly, we need to ensure enough vitamin D is also taken to ensure that that is well absorbed. And of course, low vitamin D level is gonna negatively impact, because it's said, because if calcium is not getting absorbed, what is the use of it, right? If it is not getting absorbed in the body, if it is not going to right place in the body, so that is what vitamin D is ensuring, that that is absorbed well and your bone strength is maintained and achieved. How does vitamin D work? So, there are like two most common known sources of getting vitamin D. One is, of course, from sunlight, as we say, because like acts as like a kind of hormone. And when our skin is exposed to sunlight during a particular time and a stage, and there is an, with all good guiding principles in mind. So when such exposure is there, hormone that automatically gets activated and vitamin D3 starts to synthesize in the body. Another, of course, the most common or the logical way of consuming vitamin D is from diet. But we'll come to diet part also, how much we can get from diet given our choices and everything. And yes, then another route is to ensure through supplementation. But whichever we are taking, it goes to the body, it increases calcium absorption, eventually helping with the bone health. Okay. So as we spoke about, how the life cycle of bone look like across life stages. So, there is a different level of process which is happening in our body during our life stage. So what we said during the early age, when it's a kid or a teenage time, then what is happening? Bone growth is happening. Just like a child is growing, his or her bones are also growing, right? When you get into adolescence phase, which is like during the teenage time and all, probably 13 to 18, 19 years of age, mostly growth is achieved, but now there's a time of peak bone mass to get maximum investment in your bones, right? That is the time to achieve maximum investment. Once we are adult, which means roughly starting 18 to 20 years of age till probably 40 years of age or mid-age kind of thing, that is a time of sustenance, maintenance, hold it what we have, right? Maintain strong bones. And as we get into senior years, let's say 50 year and plus, the automatically natural process will start. As we spoke, resorption will be higher than formation. Minus is more than plus. So net naturally there is bone mass is gonna decline. But what we can do or ensure for ourselves is prevent, slow down. Okay, what all we can do to slow down the process. Okay, and that's how vitamin D plays a different role, because your body needs are different across life stages. So for a child, it will help in calcium absorption when maximum growth is achieved. Though that is a function throughout. Of course, adolescence, it is helping to achieve that peak bone mass. In adulthood, it is helping to ensure that maintenance phase, and during the senior years and as we get into aging and this thing, it is helping to prevent or kind of slow down that bone mass loss which is going to happen. And that's how, preventing from the more long-term and more serious conditions like osteoporosis, frequent conditions, frequent falls and similar things. Okay. Then, of course, across life stages, it is important, but particularly, of course, men also equally need vitamin D. It is equally important. But for women, due to specific life stages and due to specific needs, this nutrient is even more important. So there are certain facts which says women who are over 40 years of age, they are 5 times, it is very, very significant. It's a great point of concern. They are 5 times more prone to the risk of developing osteoarthritis than men. Okay. And why it is happening? Of course, due to all those changes which happens in women's body during, menopause phase and hormonal changes and all that related things. Due to all those hormonal changes in the body, this risk and this bone mass loss is accelerated. The risk is there much more in women versus men. So women who are over 40 years of age, that risk is 5 times more. Weakening of bones, it is 8 times. It is like so alarming. It is 8 times more likely to happen in women. And, as we're talking about the natural bone mass loss, right, which happens for all of us as we get into 45, 50 and beyond years of age. But that bone mass loss, it could be as high as 3% per year during the age when women are into the menopause phase. So there are certain ages, certain stages, but what we want to reiterate again is that when we get into negative, in the sense of loss phase, then probably, start taking care of nutrition. It's not a great idea. We need to be mindful. We need to be taking care of our nutrition right from the early age, so that these kind of losses, these kind of minuses, they can be kept in check. Of course, completely we cannot reverse it, we cannot stop it, but yeah, we can keep in check. We can slow down. We can make our attempts to be in the healthy range if our adequate nutrition is in place. Okay, we said, of course, we talk about different risk factors, and how that risk is much, much, much more in women. But why it is so, we all know. We did talk about it in the previous slide also, because what happens after menopause, estrogen drops sharply, right? This is a natural process. There is a strong, strong hormonal influence in estrogen in women, comes down and it drops sharply, which is a main factor. It accelerates bone loss. Okay, because estrogen, we'll talk about it in subsequent slides. It is a key factor which is responsible for our structure of bones. It is a key hormone which is responsible for our shape of bones. So when it gets into decline phase, as a natural outcome, it certainly accelerates the bone loss. Higher risk of osteoporosis, because if the bone loss is happening at a faster pace, of course those repercussions will also come, right? Which is like osteoporosis and frequent fall, frequent fractures, and higher risk of these kind of bad incidents. And then, of course, particular menopause is, of course, one of it. Then, of course, during the pregnancy phase also, lactation phase also, the overall nutrition demand is high, and so is true for vitamin D also, for calcium also. So bone, temporary, because, as your body is taking care of another living, like baby is being, kind of developed in your body. So of course your nutrition needs are much, much higher, and bone, kind of temporarily loses calcium during this time phase. So that's why, these nutrients, they are just like hyped up and taken enough care, like iron, calcium, vitamin D, because demand for these nutrients is high during these life stages. Then, of course, menstrual and PCOS, that's not a new concept, and that's a sad thing, though we have been saying, happening since beginning, like still young age is good, peak bone mass is being achieved, and like growth is happening, we are investing in our strength and all that, but these hormonal imbalances are setting in right from the beginning. Okay, so PCOS, I think it's a very, very common term around, we keep on hearing it for young girls due to that, again, more sedentary lifestyles, and they're all glued to mobile phones, and, those poor diet choices and overall hormonal imbalance, which is contributing to this condition. So even that young age is not even secure, right? These hormonal imbalances are setting in right from the beginning, which makes the importance again of good food and good nutrition even more important. And yes, sunlight exposure, of course, that is so true for all of us, men and women both. But yeah, indoor lifestyle, indoor work, it further limit the sun exposure and increases the risk. So yeah, of course, role of vitamin D, as we spoke in the beginning, for calcium absorption, bone health, mood, and good cognition health, immunity, and particularly for women, to keep the balance, hormonal balance, especially during the conditions like PCOS, or during the menstrual phase, or during the particular life stages like pregnancy, lactation phase, where the needs are higher. And as we spoke about, women are naturally more prone to conditions like osteoporosis and bone loss. The risk is eight times higher than men. So, which makes it even more crucial for this important nutrient to be in check, to be taken in adequate quantity for women and men, of course. So, okay. So, with this, till now, we spoke about the importance of bone health, how the life cycle of bone look like, which are the factors which could impact bone mass. Then we understood in detail about vitamin D, its role, and how it is helping us during our life stage, and particularly for women, why this magical nutrient is even more important. But imagine, what is the irony? It is so important, but still, do we know how many of us are running out of this deficiency? Of course, that will be a little unorganized data. We all know, we keep on hearing, right? Somebody got tested vitamin D. Oh, it is not in a good shape, and this thing, it is low, and all that thing. Do we know the numbers, like how many Indians are vitamin D deficient? It is 80 to 90%. It is like almost everyone, almost all of us, right? If I say out of 10, 8 to 9 people are gonna be found the vitamin D deficient. And imagine there is like plenty of sunlight. So, I will say like there's a kind of thought in our mind, oh, this so we get from sunlight and this thing, and we're sitting in a tropical country, we are exposed to sun 12 months of the year, but still 80 to 90% of us are vitamin D deficient. But what makes most of us vitamin D deficient? What is the reason? First and foremost, of course, we all know due to our priorities. Maybe we don't like also. Who likes sitting out the sun at 45-degree temperature, right? As we are saying, tropical country, which means, of course, it's a very, very hot country to live in most of the times, other than particular parts of the country. It's a very high temperature. And anything beyond 30, 35 degree, it is not very convenient for us. It is not very soothing. So one is that reason. We don't like sitting out in the sun. There are other conditions, tanning and, poor skin impact. And in fact, we load ourselves with sunscreen, which is, of course, a healthy practice to do. We are not saying not to do. It's a very, very healthy and a needed practice to do. But net, what is happening? We are not spending much time outside in the sun. One is due to those extreme temperatures. Secondly, due to our priorities, there are proper packed schedules and indoor lifestyles, and also, of course, not much time spent outside. Now, another most convenient way is, okay, get it from diet then. But do you know vitamin D is found in very, very limited sources only. They are very, very special food like mushrooms. And most of it like, non-veg sources, as we spoke in the beginning. Actually, there are very few veg sources which are loaded with vitamin D. And mostly it is found in non-veg sources. So like egg yolks and fish, not all fish. So there are particular kind of fishes only which are known to be great sources of vitamin D, like mackerel, salmon, tuna. So these are the particular kind of fish which are rich in vitamin D. Cheese, of course, it is a great source, but it will bring a good amount of fat and calories also along with it. But yeah, these are like, I'll say like most common if you have to identify vitamin D rich sources of food in our everyday diet. But we all know how much we are able to consume because they are very specific food, very limited choices. And that's the reason it largely goes missing from our regular diet. And, particularly for Indians, one we spoke about, like we are not spending, of course, much time outside. But even if we are spending, even if we are taking that attempt, if we are making that effort, even then our body is not able to produce enough vitamin D. One is due to natural darker skin tone. So, most of us, we have a little darker skin tone due to high melanin content in our skin, and which, kind of prevents or kind of inhibits the, that a process of vitamin D getting synthesized and, start to get active in the body due to our darker skin tone. It reduces, it slows down that process. Second is, of course, use of sunscreen. Of course, it is the need of the hour to have that UV ray protection and all that, and keep our skin in healthy phase. But yeah, it does block impact of getting the vitamin D from sun. And natural aging, of course, that is again another factor which impact the body's ability to produce vitamin D naturally, right? So due to all these reasons, these are further clubbed with diet factors and this thing, and they slow down or kind of makes that process of, even for people who are outside in the sun, to get enough vitamin D. And yes, of course, if we are running long time deficiency on vitamin D, how the common symptoms will look like. And these are all mostly dedicated to bone health. Till now, we haven't gone to other, like, even your immunity is going to be impacted. Your mood is going to be impacted. You mentally may feel fatigue very, very soon and not able to focus and have a bad mood and all that thing. But yeah, particularly when we talk about bone health and related condition, most common symptoms may look like back pain. Which we normally so commonly talk about, oh, I'm having a back pain and, leg pain. I get tired so easily. And so these are they may sound like very, very common factors. And vitamin D deficiency, the first most common symptoms will look like if you're running on low vitamin D on everyday basis. And then, of course, there could be more far stretch symptoms and consequences also, like frequent fractures or even our overall posture getting impacted by it and resulting to a stooped posture, bringing along with it even more issues relating to back and overall bone health. So yeah. So, of course, we are, as in India, it's a great thing of concern that we need to keep this important nutrition in check. We need to ensure we are consuming it on everyday basis. Coming from all those issues and the gaps and the misses which we just spoke about. Now, okay, many of us, and outside when we talk to people, they might be aware of vitamin D deficiency. They might be doing something to take care of that, and that may look like going out and buying a supplement. Of course, that's a great decision we have taken for ourselves. How sometimes their choice of vitamin D may look like. So when I'm going to buy a vitamin D for myself, which are the key things I should look for? How it will provide me an overall comprehensive support I need to look out at. But right now, people making those choices, how they may look like. First section could be of buyers or users or Mr. Independent or Miss Independent. We all just love to be independent, making our own choices and taking our own decisions. But Mr. Independent might be missing on the cofactors. So D is the hero, no doubt about it. D is the main lead, but every hero needs a squad. Okay? Every hero needs an army along with it. So D3 is a great and main character energy, of course, but it does need a lot more supporting nutrients along with it to deliver that overall holistic impact. So Mr. Independent is not a great choice to go for. Then overachiever sounds very cool, right? Overachiever. Achievement is something, but when it is like overachieved, oh my God. But not always maybe. Mega doses may bring mega risk also if they are not taken under proper medical supervision. So of course, right balance wins while going for it. Do check for your need. What do you need on everyday basis? And not to run on risk. We are trying to solve for something and not to get into a bigger risk. So again, being an overachiever in this domain may not be a great idea. Then, of course, it's a very known concept we all love. Deals. Okay? And deal hunter is here to out of the place. So deal hunter is confused in a way because I'll buy the supplement which is like the most low price, which is coming with a big deal. Higher the discount, more the love from my side to buy that vitamin D supplement. That's again not a great decision. Low quality vitamin D3, that's actually not a bargain. It may be a bust. Okay. So we're going out to solve for something and we land into a bigger trouble. So while choosing a vitamin D supplement, do check for cofactors. Do check for the dosage and the quantity levels. And deal is cool, but may not be safe. Okay. And okay, so a little bit more about Mr. Independent. So, as we said, vitamin D is the main character energy, but to perform its role, it's full of its impact, it needs more supporting nutrients along with it. So to say like boron, vitamin K2, we'll capture about it in detail in just in another section, which helps them to perform overall in a great synergy. How and why, we'll speak about it. Then Mr. Overachiever, as we already said, not every time higher is good, of course, because we all know excess is bad till the time you actually need it, right? So actually, it has been taken under physical medical supervision or something. It's not a great idea, like more vitamin D3, which means like I do need it. That may not necessarily be always a given thing or a right choice to make till the time you really need it. And deal hunter, as we say, of course, low cost bargains, but yeah, do check for the source, availability, safety, overall this thing, and plan forward wellness, of course. So these concepts are really important because all this is we are doing for our body. We are doing this for our nutrition. So rather than solving for it, we should certainly not be landing into the other side of it. So these, currently the gaps of vitamin D may look like, and that is what here we are gonna solve for. And we are getting into the most exciting section of the day, and we are here to talk about the scientifically designed product. It is coming with a full squad, and this is Meet Neutralite Vitamin D plus Boron. Okay, of course, it is gonna help you, to fill that everyday vitamin D gap which is there in your everyday life, along with the regular diet. Of course, diet is important, but as we spoke about in detail, like the sources of vitamin D that that may not be coming through our regular diet and everyday diet, and that is supplementation is a great idea. But with supplementation, that's a great thing and a question to ponder too. add to make a decision. So Neutralite Vitamin D plus boron, it is a scientifically designed product. When we say scientifically designed, and we are gonna talk about it, bone health is something, right? What is bone health? How it is gonna help? Which ingredient is working on which part? That's the whole science, that's the whole concept behind it, and we'll take you through it while talking about this product. So it has got 5 nutrients for bone health. One is, of course, as we say, main hero, which is vitamin D3. Along with it, it comes vitamin K2. Then we got boron. And I'm going to tell you, nothing is boring about boron. As we going to talk more about this, again, magical nutrient, it's making a new entry to the portfolio itself. And, it's a great addition, and it's a great advancement, we'll say, as we get into designing the new vitamin D product. And we'll talk about it. And, but one very interesting thing I'll tell you, we have always heard like vitamin D, why do you need? For calcium absorption. It enhances calcium absorption. But what enhances vitamin D absorption? Okay, now we're going to the level up. Everyone is talking, which everyone knows. Vitamin D improves calcium absorption. But who will improve vitamin D absorption? It is boron. Okay, so that role is gonna play. Then, of course, we got a patented blend of licorice and quercetin from our NutriCert farms, and they are great plant source nutrient to support bone health. So what is the whole science about it, right? So these magic nutrients or ingredients, if we speak about their individual roles, vitamin D3, each tablet will take care of our 100% RDA, or which means the everyday requirement for a healthy individual, 100% RDA will be taken care through one tablet. And yeah, it is required for efficient calcium absorption, which helps to maintain healthy bone density and structure. Boron, it is added at a clinically effective dose. So boron is basically a trace mineral. Okay, so there is a concept of mineral and trace mineral. So a trace mineral, as the name says, our body might need in a lesser quantity, smaller quantity. And, again, a bit more fun fact, even water, which we consume many times during the day, it also contains boron, because water is naturally a rich source of certain minerals, right? But yes, of course, the level of boron you will get, it is like minuscule, nowhere there. But just like an interesting fact to know that water also contains boron. And so, there are particular nuts like dry fruits and particular vegetables which will contain boron. But yeah, again, in order like minuscule or at a lower level of quantity. And even after making best of the attempt, we might be consuming, let's say, 1 milligram, 1.5 milligram of boron on an everyday basis. But here in our product, we have added boron at a clinically effective dose, and that clinically effective dose is 3 milligram. When you say clinically effective dose, means that dose has shown, clinically it has shown through studies, through clinicals, that this level of dose is gonna deliver magical health. It is gonna work. One is just adding a nutrient for the sake of it. Okay, it will look good on my nutrition panel. Not like that. Clinically effective means clinical studies have shown this level of dose is known for proven health results. Okay, so that's how boron is added to it. And yeah, as we said, one very nice, great, strong function always to remember is vitamin D enhances calcium absorption. But what enhances vitamin D absorption? It's boron. Okay. Then, of course, we got vitamin K2. Journey doesn't stop here. We got another squad member to support this whole gamut, and this is vitamin K2. Vitamin K2, again, we might have all the resources in place. We might be great at our game. We know everything and everything. But, just having a guide in the life, that mentor that knows the thing, that comes with, that kind of experience in this thing, that resourcefulness, that is always welcome, right? And vitamin K2 plays a similar role. It is like a guide. So, okay, we are consuming calcium. Vitamin K2 acts as a guide. It should go to right place in the body, which is bones. Okay. So, calcium do not lose the track in the body and get absorbed or get, dissolved or this thing and some other. You go to the bones. So, vitamin K2 acts like a guide. It's like a guiding factor which helps to take calcium to the bones and teeth where it belongs. And yes, of course, a patented blend of plant botanicals, licorice and quercetin. They are individually known to support bone health, and they are both organically sourced, right, from our NutriCert farms. Okay, now this is a very interesting slide, and we request your full attention to it. So we talk about the concept of bone health in very layman term. Everything is bone health, everything is immune health, but where it is helping, how it will work, and when you know that there's a scientifically proven formula, only then you can get into this much of detailing and this much of logic. So how this army of vitamin D, boron, and K2 is helping. So just imagine, look at the right side of the slide here. Just like every building starts with a strong frame, there is a framework, foundation, let the framework. That is what is called bone structure. Okay. So there is a term you must have heard, bone structure. What is bone structure? It is like the framework, lay down the strong. So, and stronger is the structure, stronger will be the longevity and everything which you put over it, and this thing that's gonna survive, right? If structure is weak, nothing else works. So bone structure is something like a framework, and boron, that hero, it is helping with the bone structure part. How? We'll speak about it. Then there is okay, now the structure is laid out. Let's talk about let's add strength to it. Okay, just like when you are building a house, now once you laid out the framework, you bring up the thick and strong walls. How much investment, how much thought we give to it, right? Because that is ensuring the strength of the building. Same is something called bone density. So bone density is what? It is going to determine the strength of your bones. Okay. And here the superhero vitamin D3 is playing the role. Then, okay, framework is laid, and we have invested in the strength of that building also. Density is also taken care. But I need to ensure that strength is retained. Okay, having something to make something sturdy is very nice. But we also need to ensure that strength is, locked in. It stays there. Okay. And that is what is called bone mineralization. So basically, we are ensuring what all great nutrients we have got, we ensure that they are locked in, they stay at the right place where they belong to, and contribute to the long run strength and density of bones. And that is what K2 is doing. So there is a 3-level support or a 3-level work which is happening. One is to start with bone structure, which is the framework with boron, then density, which is something to do with strength, and then bone mineralization, which is like lock-in. So strength is just stay there. Okay, it is locked in. So that is what to do with bone mineralization, which is supported by K2. Okay, so this is the 3-level support we are talking about. As we said, the framework. So how boron is helping the framework? So there are key hormones, as we spoke in the women health section. For women, it will be estrogen, and for men, testosterone, which basically control how bones are shaped and maintained. Okay, these hormones are known to determine or kind of that how the structure of bones is gonna be, how they're gonna be shaped, how they're gonna be maintained, and boron acts like a hormone manager. It maintains the balance of these hormones to ensure that the framework is strongly laid out. Now, once the framework is there, bone structure, then how we ensure the strength of the bones? Through vitamin D3. So what vitamin D3 is doing? It is helping your body to absorb calcium and phosphorus, 2 key nutrients which are known to support, to build and strengthen bones. Moving on, strong structure is laid out. Strength is maintained. Now we need to lock in, just stay there. That strength need to be there. Okay, so that is what ensures your bone mineralization. So now Mr. Vitamin K2 comes into picture, and it activates osteocalcin. It is a protein. It is a kind of protein which helps to lock calcium into bones. As we talk about like a guiding factor, vitamin K2. Okay, it is ensuring that calcium goes to the place where it belongs, which is bones. So how these 3 magical nutrients, how this army of boron, D3 and K2 is coming together to support the bone structure, bone density and bone mineralization. Net, our framework is strong. Once framework is there, we invest in the strength of bones. Once we have invested in the strength of bones, we ensure what we have achieved, it stays there. It locks in. And that is how these 3 ingredients are working together. Age-wise action, of course, as we spoke about, because at the different stages, our needs are different. And that's how, when you're in the age of peak bone mass, these nutrients are helping with, proper calcium absorption, so that during the peak bone building years, that maximum strength is achieved. When we are into maintenance phase, again, it helps to keep that proper maintenance in check, these 3 magical nutrients. And as we get into the aging part, of course, natural aging, we cannot stop for sure, but just to keep in check that, that natural bone loss is like kept in check or within the healthy level. These three nutrients work together to maintain bone density and to prevent, there's a concept called arterial calcification, which means like, as we get to age and, complications, and with this thing, calcium may get deposited or this thing to arteries. So that's where the role of vitamin K2 is very, very crucial to take it to the right place. When we are consuming these nutrients like calcium and phosphorus, take it to the right place, take it to the right site, and which happens to be bones in our body. So yeah, why Nutralite vitamin D plus boron? We already spoke about. It's a combination of 5 magic ingredients. 3 key ones being 3 are the nutrients and 2 are plant-based botanicals. So 3 key nutrients, which is of course vitamin D3, 100% RDA vitamin D3 is delivered through 1 tablet. Then it contains boron at clinically tested level, right? That's an important factor to consider into, that the dose is clinically tested level, so deliver those health benefits what we are claiming for, and 20 mcg of vitamin K2. Okay, boron, little more about it, because we all know it is like the silent supporter. So while, when you talk about bone health, there could be enough noise around calcium and vitamin D for all the good reasons, of course. But yeah, boron is like the silent supporter. So we probably don't even know enough. We don't get to know about it and do not talk about this. But yeah, it helps. How it helps, okay, we spoke in the beginning, one very interesting concept. It helps with vitamin D absorption. But how it does that? Basically, it extends the half-life of vitamin D. What is the meaning of half-life? With every nutrient, there is a concept called half-life. Okay. So what does it mean? Any nutrient you consume, like so to say protein, vitamin A, C, D, B, K, any kind of nutrition what we take, there is a cycle of the pace at which it will be broken down in the body, right? So as you consume different kind of foods, they behave, or you feel fuller for maybe for few foods for a longer period of time. For few, they are like, that whole concept of complex carbs and simple carbs and all that stuff. So what is happening with every nutrient, there is a cycle at which it is going to be broken down in the body, at which it is going to be utilized in the body. Okay. So basically boron, it slow down the pace of vitamin D being, broken down in the body, how it is metabolized in the body, right? So basically it helps to extend the half-life. So half-life in a most common language you may understand, like the amount of time for which a particular nutrient will be active in the body. Okay, that is something called half-life. And boron helps to extend the half-life of vitamin D. It balances hormones like estrogen and testosterone, as we spoke about, which is important for men and women respectively for the bone structure and framework. And yeah, again, there's a great combination. We already spoke about it. Organically sourced from Nutrisert Farm, licorice and quercetin, which are known to support bone health. So this is the full army, and the full summary may look like the guardians of bone support are here. Main hero is, of course, Sunny D. It is here to make our bones super strong and sturdy. It is supported by a great, though it's a silent supporter, but yeah, that doesn't make any impact less in any way, which is boron. And it is helping the body to use vitamin D more effectively by increasing its absorption. And how it is happening? Because it is slowing down the breakdown of vitamin D in the body, which means increasing the half-life of vitamin D in the body, which means the amount of time for which vitamin D is going to be active in the body, that is extended. And, that's how vitamin D utilization is improved. Then we got a great guide, Calci guide in the product, which is K2. It helps to ensure that calcium lands where it belongs, which is in the bones. And yeah, combination of quercetin and licorice to support bone health. Okay. This is very, very interesting. Of course, we have know enough about the product now. We are so excited. It's such a powerful product. It's such a science-backed product. It is not like general bone health and this thing. There is a specific level of work which is happening so today with bone structure, bone density, bone mineralization. And if we have to equate how much goodness is packed in 1 tablet of vitamin D plus boron, vitamin D is equivalent to almost 5 cups of milk. Okay. And 1 cup is almost 250 ml, not like small cup or some minor this thing. 250 ml, good size cup. It is like 5 cups of milk. I don't know how many of us can consume it on everyday basis. 3 mg boron, which is there in the tablet, it is equal to 4.5 mid-size apples. Apple a day keeps a doctor away, but no one told us we need to consume 4.5 apples, almost 5 apples per day to get this much level of boron. Again, difficult to achieve on everyday basis. And vitamin K2 quantity equivalent to 3 whole boiled eggs. So that much of goodness, that much of equivalency, this thing is packed. Having said that, we would like to reiterate supplementation in healthy term. It is never a replacement of regular diet, right? We need to ensure that our regular diet is in place. We need to ensure good nutrition with us. But yeah, owing to our lifestyle choices, owing to our food choices, they may not be that perfect. And we will need the additional support along with it. But yeah, this is a good reference to get at this thing, how much nutrition is packed in one tablet of Nutrilite vitamin D plus boron. So yes, it is made with 5 effective ingredients to summarize and to close on. Of course, it comes with the promise of Nutrilite. So no artificial colors, flavors, preservatives, and all the best quality checks in place and manufactured in, LED certified, our gold level manufacturing facility. So backed by all those promise and 90 years of Nutrilite credibility, this great product is here to make an addition to the portfolio and to your homes, of course, as your everyday vitamin D partner. And yeah, so sales start from 1st of August, and more details will follow your way in terms of like assets and launch assets and all that thing. It is gonna be a 60 tablet pack size, and it is recommended for 18 years and above. I'm sure that will be the one most common query coming our way. Why for 18 years and above and not for lower age group? Due to boron level. So as we spoke about it, when we wanted to add it, this magical nutrient, we want to add a good level, right? So that it deliver that health benefit for what we are claiming for, not just for like to look good on the nutrition info panel. So it is a clinically effective dose which will help to deliver the health benefits, what here we are stating for. And that is how the age group is defined for the product, 18 years and above. 1 tablet per day. So it is so convenient. Any time of the day you feel like. We normally suggest to take it with meal, any supplement. So this holds true here also. So 1 tablet per day for 18 years and above. It's a 60 pack size. Rest of pricing details are there, and sale will start from 1st of August.